Americans have begun to buy houses again for the first time since last summer. It's a surge. By way of comparison, when the market was completely healthy 3 years ago, it took just 3 months to sell a home. And now it is taking, on average, about 5 months to sell a home. And what about the price? It has come down. A year ago, the average price of a home in America, $207,000. Today, $175,000. But that's the average price, which means a lot of prices out there are a whole lot lower. In fact, in some cases, so low it costs you less than a car, as consumer correspondent Elizabeth Leamy found out.
An amazing 20% of the homes listed for sale on real estate website Zillow.com are priced at less than $100,000 right now.
Buyers are really in the driver's seat to negotiate now.
You can now get a Michigan house for the same price as one of the cars that's made there. Which would you rather have? This beige 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Muskegon, Michigan, or this beige 2004 Chevy Impala with 93,000 miles? Both priced at $6,900.
You really can create your own bargain no matter what home you're looking at.
Here's a handyman special in Phoenix, Arizona for $15,000, the same price as a new Honda Civic. But investors say that jaw-dropping price is actually too high.
The banks own them. And the banks have learned one rule in real estate: price sells.
Neighbors wish it were higher.
$15,000? Wow.
A brand new Chevy Avalanche costs $35,000, and so does this 3-bedroom house with hardwood floors in Cumberland, Maryland. The truck will start depreciating the second you drive it off the lot. The house will go up eventually.
It can be a great time to get out there and buy.
And what if you had $100,000 to spend? You could buy a Mercedes G-Class SUV, or this 2,300 square foot house in Dallas, Texas. And here's some perspective. Right now, the mortgage payment on a $100,000 loan is less than $600 a month. For Good Morning America, Elizabeth Leamy, ABC News, Washington.
So what should you do? We turn to the woman who wrote 2009 Action Plan, Keeping Your Money Safe and Sound. It's Financial Gladiator bestselling author Susie Orman joining us this morning live. Thanks so much.
Anytime, Diane.
All right, let's talk about these housing prices, because you talk about solutions and problems in your book. If the situation is, as Elizabeth Leamy just said, that you can get these houses for a fraction of the cost, should you be out there buying right now? And how do you know if you're the one who should buy?
It depends. You know, there's a lot of people that actually have cars today that they've purchased for $20,000 or $30,000, and they can't afford the payments on those cars. If you don't have the money because you don't have a job, it doesn't matter if you have a house or a car, Diane, you can't afford it. So to buy a house today, you have got to know that even if it's little, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, you have at least an 8-month emergency supply. You have at least 10 months, 10% to put down. You have to know that you can afford the payments. It's not just the mortgage payment. It's still the property tax. It's still the insurance. And it's, do you have a job? If you move to one of those places, can you get work?
If you make these calculations, is the market at the bottom now?
I don't think you're going to see the market at the bottom. While it is true that there are many buys out there, those buys are foreclosures. Those are buys of houses that have really been given up by people that couldn't afford it. And what that's doing is it's bringing all the other prices of the homes in the neighborhood around there down as well. Because if you have a house that was $100,000 and your neighbor is selling it for $20,000, guess what? That makes your house now worth $20,000. So I think you're not going to see the bottom of this real estate market, in my opinion, till the end of this year or till 2010.
2010. So you can't count on your own house, the price to bounce back up. So what do you do when you're sitting with a mortgage and it's really tough to make the payments?
So you have to be very careful here, because if you can't make the payments, you don't want to make certain mistakes. You don't want to hold on until everything has gone down the drain. You're going to have to really make an intelligent decision. Can you afford a home or can you not? If you're borrowing money, if you're missing your payments, it's sometimes better to let go in today's economy than to hold on and take everything else down with you.
But where do you go to live if you let go, if you sell your house at these rock bottom prices?
Well, you know, in the report that you just had a few seconds ago, you heard the person say the mortgage payment is only $600 a month if it's a $100,000 home, or approximately that. It's not just $600 a month. It is, as I said a second ago, your property taxes, your insurance, and maintenance and things like that. So chances are it is still cheaper sometimes to rent, to go and play, you know, to just where your rent is your rent. You don't have anything on top of it, than where you keep a home, and all these other expenses are there as well as your mortgage payment.
And do you see in all these stimulus packages and what the Obama administration is talking about right now, a real sign they're going to kickstart the banks to start reducing mortgages for everybody?
Yeah, those are called remodifications, and I don't see it. They're doing remodifications if, in fact, you're late on your payments, if you're in trouble. But for those people, those good people who have been affected by those people who have lost their homes, so now they bought a home and they spent $250,000 for it, and that same home right now is being sold for $70,000 or $100,000. There is nothing to help them whatsoever. So those people, in essence, are saying, "Are you kidding? I'm just going to give up my house. What do I care? I'll ruin my FICO score and I'll buy a new house a few years from now at, 100% less almost than what I paid for my own."
So run us through this list of don'ts. I know you got quick ones here. 401ks, don't use them. Credit cards, don't use them on your mortgages. And don't help your kids out with their mortgages either unless you really know that you're in good shape. What does good shape mean?
Yeah, good shape means that you have an 8-month emergency fund. You yourself aren't behind on your mortgage payments. Your job is also secure. So many times we help others, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in the situation of, oh my God, I just lost my job. What am I going to do? So you really have to be very, very careful here. One of the biggest mistakes that all of you will make is if you borrow from your 401k to catch up a mortgage payment, and then all of a sudden you've lost your job, and now what happens? You owe your money back to the 401k, and guess what? You owe taxes on it if you can't afford to pay it back.
Okay, advice from Susie Orman this morning. The book is 2009 Action Plan, Problems and Solutions. Thanks again for getting up so early out there. Thanks, Susie.
Anytime.